Hello everyone, I'm about ready to get started. Welcome Calvician, still on the work trip, thank you for stopping by. Always appreciate seeing you around. And good morning, Chris. Let's transition into the game. Or, well, we'll talk first, actually. There's a couple things I want to test. I'm going to pause the music as well. So, there's a couple things I just want to check before we do a run. Essentially, the goal for today is mostly just kind of one final test of how it feels end to end. And it'll give me a better sense of some of the relic balancing. I might nerf spells. I don't know if I'll do it this patch. I'll think about it next patch. I'm gonna let it play out a little more and see how I feel about it. I think the sub-weapons are in a pretty good spot. I feel like I addressed most of my concerns with them. And I think some other changes compared to the previous version, including the slower heart regen, also really help with that. I do think slowing down the heart regen rate did help a lot, I think, with the balancing. But also some general tweaks to damage and how often it hits, I think also is pretty good. Now, there's two things I want to try to do before we do a formal run. I'm going to give it like a half hour. If I don't get it in a half hour, I'll just play without it, and I'll just make a comment in the run itself that it will probably be available in a hotfix. Because I don't think these are issues that will hold up the build. It's just kind of like nice to haves. So we'll see. So let us jump into the game, actually. Let me launch it. I want to hear that PS1 sound. Come on. What's there, but it's just very quiet. As per my usual testing. Okay. Let's jump into it now. I did not mean to resize that. That was a mistake. Fortunately, I don't think the window keeps the resize, or else I would be driven wild by that. This will be the last kind of like test for I would say 1.11. And there's something I need to test, but I need to be like at a very specific spot of the game. So I noticed there's kind of a little bit of non-responsiveness when you use screen transition. I want to see if a fix I put in did anything. Because I'm not entirely sure why it drops the input, but I'm assuming it's because of one line of code. So we're just going to do a real quick transition, and in order to do that, I need to be in boosted X armor mode, so this should be good enough. Good old nostalgic sound, something like that. What? Yeah, I love the debug. Yeah, why the debug has 2,000 hearts and only 20 MP, chat? I have no idea. They can't even test Soul Steel. What kind of debug mode is this, chat? They should have 50 MP. I'm just saying. Ridiculous. I don't know if I could... I'll have to test the hallways later, but here's one area I know causes an issue. I'm gonna come up here. So, like, normally you can see, chat, my normal jump goes about this high, which is pretty high. I think that kind of worked. No, it still drops it a little bit. It's better. It is better, but it's not, like, better by a lot. Like, see how I'm, like, barely making it up there? I don't know, like, when that screen turns to black, I don't know what flag that is, because I think it's actually eating your input. Thinking about this. Yeah, like, because that's as high as I can jump with my normal jump, and you can see, like, comparatively, Like, I'm making it here every time, which is nice, I guess. But it's still a little off. The people that are looking for the big jump aren't getting the big jump. Let me think. I'm trying to think what this would even be in the back end to detect that transition. Because it's not like every room this happens. It's like the Coliseum, Alchemy Lab, sometimes hallways. Yeah, like there, I fell instantly. Like, see how long I can glide comparatively? I'm not sure what's eating that input. I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, I kind of want to iron that out, I think, if I can, just before the run. It was something I was thinking about this morning, but it doesn't look like what I changed worked. Yeah, I thought I could do, like, the in transition tag, but it's not strong enough. I'm gonna make one more change. I just want to see if it's this flag. If it is, then we'll test it, and if I don't like it, I'll just revert it. Because again, it's just like a one-line change of code, but it's like figuring out which is like the right flag for this scenario is kind of tricky because I didn't name these flags. So I don't know if this applies to those screen transitions or not. It's weird because I think it still considers you in control. So like I have a check for like whether or not you're in control. I mean, it could be like, it could be literally like in control. Oh, I guess maybe I should do that actually. Hold on. I don't know. I'm gonna hope this fixes it. Otherwise, I have to think about like the is has control tag, and that's gonna be a little too complicated, and I'm not gonna worry about it. If this doesn't fix it, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll just put it in the backlog for the next patch. Yeah, it's just like little things I'd like to do to clean up the movement. We're just gonna do the same thing. I'm just curious. This has control is kind of a really powerful flag, and I don't want to apply that logic without some safety checks. Also, I have to kill this. There we go. Frozen here. Let me reboot. There's also an annoying thing where if you attack with Alucard when he's in that transition state, it does freeze the game because it's used. But I'm looking to resolve that just by fixing the intro. I'm gonna worry about that later.
What?
Interesting. I'm gonna make a small note here. I might charge a little more for the second jump of gravity boots. I think it's actually not charging enough. I don't care if it has like a reduced cost, but I think that might be too low. I'll put this in the TBD. Repeated gravity boots have additional costs. More. I think now it's like literally charging 1, but I regen so quickly that it's really hard to tell. Yeah, see, I think I got cut off there. No, yeah, see, that didn't fix it. That's not counted as a load or a transition. Okay. Because the only reason you would fall is the fact that the timer for the jump is being consumed. It's not any of those scenarios. I'll just remove the code for now. I don't need to play with it. Yeah, I don't know if it has any unintended side effects, so I'll just undo it. Yeah, I was hoping it would be quick, but I mean, if the only way to check it is has control, like there's so many things that take away control in the game. Why I don't want to test it with like just a simple flag like that. I was hoping it was one of the other existing flags. For example, any cutscene would do that, so I don't want you to... I don't want it to behave that way in certain scenarios. Like, it needs to be able to disable your states. Like, I could do a hypothetical just to see if that resolves it, I guess. But I don't think I'll play with it like that. The screen change, eat the momentum. No, it's not this... I don't know how to explain it to you in layman's terms. I need to think about it. So when the game is transitioning between there, you still have control. So it's not eating your momentum. It's burning your boost. Your jump boost. So you are always going to be holding it for X number of frames. Like if you let go perfectly during it, it should in theory keep your momentum. But it's consuming your jump counter, which is why you're not able to jump as high, and that's why it gets set every time. It takes more than 8 frames to transition, so it goes to consume it, and it goes, oh, you're not actually moving anywhere. We're just gonna remove it. Let's see if the has control. If I skip the counter, in theory, what does that look like, just for my own reference? Oh, that is so annoying that it's gonna freeze the game, like, every time. I need to just have this one... Very annoying, chat. So the problem with this, as I said before, I might put another fix in. It's because it's trying to color the axe armor before he's here. It doesn't like it. So if you go to attack or do anything, it does that. This is the downside to using save states, so I'm gonna have to probably clean that up. I don't think this is an issue you would normally come across unless you're using save states. So I cleaned up most of the code for that, but not that specific scenario. Let me just put myself in the right mode, because I find that very annoying when I'm testing. What? Let me save from here so I don't need to do that again. Yeah, like once you're already in Alucard mode, it doesn't really matter too much what you do in between. There we go. Yeah, it stops detecting your input, so it kills the jump, and it consumes your boost. Hey, wow, it still does that even with the no control? Wow. Why does it do that? Do I need something stronger than has control? Really? Okay. I need to think about that. Well, I have no idea then if that doesn't work. I have no idea. If the has control is not enough to check that, I have no idea what state you're in. I would have to look at the hex. And I definitely did a new build, so I know it's the one where it did the has control. So it thinks you have control during that scenario. Weird. Yeah, there's like little things I might change, like you have less iframes when you crouch. I'm not in a rush to do that. I mean, you shouldn't be crouching, honestly. The axe armor. It's lower on my priority list to fix than the other issue. Everything else is okay. There's one other thing I want to check. Oh, I deleted that file. I'm having regrets. Do I have anything even vaguely near that? I don't think I do. Ooh. I'm gonna have to make a new save. Actually, do I need this Akmadon save anymore? I don't think I do. Let's face plant real quick. I have a save file with every warp. I just need to get to second castle, but I need to like not be in the middle of second castle. I think this one puts me next to Richter. I think this one's okay. I'm gonna save over this one in the final save slot because I need to be able to test one thing.
What?
That was weird. I didn't turn like the right color first time. Oh well. I'll look into it later. That could be my focus.
What?
Oh, I guess because I started with it. I have to think about that a bit more. I mean, I could probably clean up the color code a bit more. But again, that'll probably just be a hotfix if I do anything. I'm not going to hold up the build for this. There's one very specific part of this room I'm going to go to. So I want to be able to mist through this. So we are going to make a save probably like right here-ish. I'm even going to pause the emulator so I don't have to hold the button down as I save state because I find that irritating. There we go, that's better. So I just need to know the coordinates for these two spots. And we're gonna test that, and then I think we'll get started. This is like a small quality of life change because I would like to be able to get through here, if at all possible. Like, I need to like not have momentum. That's probably okay. It's not like a big gap, but that should probably be enough. So I'm just gonna take a look at the logs, and I'm just gonna try to implement that. So I got the room coordinates, good. Interesting. I guess because I'm like bouncing off the top, I had different Y coordinates there. I mean, I'll just put very bluntly, it should probably be like 83 instead of 82, 81. It's like a width of 17 pixels. I think the one to the right is as far over as possible. I'm gonna give it like one more pixel leniency. See if that's good enough. So what I'm looking to do here is that we already have like the mist gate fix. All I'm gonna do is apply a vertical clip to see if that's good enough. Actually, I probably shouldn't have closed it because I could have checked to see if it was working. Let's boot it up and make sure that all I have to do is the vertical clip. If all I need is the vertical clip, then we'll just get started with the fix. It's gonna be like maybe 6 lines of code. Maybe. I just gotta add in the rule. Hello, Nathan. Hope you're doing well. How do you enter the Olrox boss stage? That's a great question. So we have the ability to clip through walls to some extent with the axe armor to make up for the fact that you can't use mist. And we're actually going to be applying a very similar fix to this particular area. I'm gonna reactivate this real quick, so I should probably plummet in a moment. Oh, or not. Or I get stuck in the slow-mo state. Interesting. Huh. I mean, that allows me to rapid attack. Let's fix the character real quick. Maybe I'll put the save state here so it doesn't get stuck in a weird spot. I just want to verify one thing. If I do the RAM watch list that we already have, and then I go into... I think I labeled it as ceiling clip, right? Yes, no. Oh, I didn't label it? Which one was it? It was one of these. I think the ceiling clip was different from left-right clip, so I think if we freeze this and set this to 2400, should be... Okay, I mean, that seemed to work. Oh, and that even stops me from, like, clipping on the sides. Well, that's convenient. Also, let me label this in my RAM watch. This should be ceiling clip, because I kind of need to know which one this is sometimes. So that seems fairly straightforward. I guess I don't need, like, the Olrox boost, per se. Yeah. You know what? Let me not worry about that right now. I'll keep it recorded. I'm not going to worry about it in this run, because I do have a little bit of a time constraint today. If we have time at the end of today's session, we'll do it. But I think I should probably get started with the run. So at least I have that information for later. I'll probably just let generic mist get through, because I was trying to think like what normally lets you go through there. I don't think bat normally does, but I might make an exception there, honestly. I know gravity boots doesn't in vanilla. I'm pretty sure only mist allows you to go through. Yeah, I don't think bat could do it, but I mean I guess I could test real quick in like vanilla. I have to disable this real quick. Oh, bat can do it? Interesting. I almost always use mist through there, so I just kind of assume there. So... Okay. Okay, that's going to be more involved then, so I'm not going to worry about that then. Since we do have a version of that with axe armor, but it's very different than the mist code. I think this might be the only one way, quote unquote, that blocks off from normal jumping in the game. I can't think of another platform that's like this, where you need to go up through it, but you can't jump through it. I mean, there's like mist gates, but those you can only go through mist. It's the only one I can think of that also you could go through with that. Not a big deal. So I'll make a small note there, and I think we're ready to make a seed. So chat, you have any seed names while I think about what to do, I think, in terms of balancing that. I'll probably just stick to guarded OG. Honestly, if we're going to randomize it, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of casual. Like, I think we played a lot of it. I think my issue with it is that, like, 9 times out of 10, I get, like, 4 out of 5 Vlad relics in the first castle, if not all of them. And I feel like our seeds have been, like, really boring because of that when I do it. So I think I need a bit of a break from casual. I mean, legit, I think, like, the last 5 seeds we did, we got no less than 4 Vlad relics in first castle, so it always required a first castle clear every single time. Hmm. Anyway, I'll close the RAM watch. We don't really need to see that at the moment. I want to save the changes. Yes. Oh, let's... So we have a lot to go over. In fact, while chat thinks about the seed name, why don't we just go over the change list? Because there is a big change list. Let's formally capture it somewhere. We'll go to Let's Chat as chat thinks about the seed name. This is gonna be a little dry, but I just kind of want to capture like a state and time of where the build is. 1 second. Yeah, that's good enough. That is the only one? Okay. I was gonna say, I don't remember any other platforms like that. So we'll ignore my work in progress stuff. Like, I'm gonna have the known issue list. Business not casual. Sure, we could do that for the seed name. So what I'm looking to do to do like an overall, I think I might have to clean up the title of this. There are so many things that are going in this version, but ultimately what we're looking to have is cloak color changes. We have subweapon basically nerfs across the board. We added 2 new subweapons, the dagger and the Bible. We can now use the outer wall doors. Adventure seed type is now completable, and you have the out of bounds cleanup. One thing that I don't think I'll show off in today's stream, but you'll just have to take my word on it. The random Alucard color, I'm gonna disable whenever you have Joseph's Cloak. Because normally, from the vanilla gameplay, you are able to change your colors. And I think sometimes people want to see like the colors of your equipment anyway when you play normal Mayhem. So I'm just saying, if you're equipped with Joseph's Cloak, don't overwrite with another color, unless it's like a Hex or like a red speed boost color. If they happen to lose the cloak, then it'll go back to whatever the chosen color is. So we'll see. One of the big things, in addition to the things I just mentioned, is that we're buffing the Mayhem Galamoth health and resistances. So I have like a whole separate section for this. I'm not even gonna remove it from here because I made it its own section. For now, chat, I haven't figured out a great way to do Joseph's Cloak implementation, but essentially there are 9 different colors it can be, and as long as you equip or unequip it, it'll fix it. I might allow some kind of in-game action to change it, maybe. That way you don't have to go into the menu. For now, it's not a super focus. It's just kind of a neat feature, and we'll have to talk about what would be a convenient way to change Joseph's Cloak, so that way you could just quickly rotate through the colors. I put in a armor detection for Spike Breaker and Brilliant Mail, so people can't delete those. Look at a Jupiter Climb on that one. One other thing from like a usability standpoint is we originally implemented item usage for just one generic item cooldown effect. So if you use the potion in your right hand, for example, it was locking out your left hand. So I figured out a way to have both effects happen at once. So I had to completely redo how it detects your items. And I think it's good there. So I had to rewrite this. Like, this is all custom now. So if we need to have separate effects, this kind of sets up, for example, throwing weapons in the future, potentially. One thing that's kind of annoying, though, is I don't know if you can really spam the throwing weapons, because those require a lot of reserve slots. So I'll think about it. I might have to move where the addresses are currently. I'll think about it. I think we covered this in a previous stream session, but I added more items that work as a consumable. So you got your stat potions, your heart refreshes, and all of your resist should be now be working. Galamoth has been greatly buffed. I mean, that's fine. So he should feel more of a challenge, but not like Vanilla. I think Vanilla is just way too tricky with Mayhem. Be real with you. So I don't really like the approach of get the stun lock or die. I feel like that's too binary. So I've given him a little more health. So he still has more health than some of the bosses in Second Castle by default. And I've put some of his other health scaling off of Lad Relic's held. We'll see how we feel about that. Also, there's just so even though his defense is very low, like originally it's like 60 or something insane. I'm putting it at 3 for melee, but our spells and our individual abilities actually take like 50% or 25% damage modifiers. So even though it looks like his defense is low, we're literally dealing potentially like 200 to 300 less damage per spell. So that ends up increasing the fight length, I think, in a way that feels fair. And if you're out of MP and sub weapons, at least you could still do damage. Because otherwise, like, if you come in at, like, 60 strength, you'd be doing, like, 5 or something ridiculous to him. And that's not really fun when he has, like, 10,000 health. Let's not do that, chat. One thing I'm going to state is that I'm kind of messing around with the Mist properties. I wanted the Mist relics to kind of do more as you play as the Axe Armor. So the goal for this is, like, slightly less cost to go into face plant if you form a mist, and you could just do the hover mist a bit longer than you could before. We showcased redirecting. We'll probably do a run for some of this stuff. I will say in general, without reading every single line here, I wanted to make sure that mist was a bit more interactive. Yeah, I don't know if I'll do throwables. I might do like bomb items, but I don't know if I'll do like shuriken. I'm like, I technically have figured out how to do it. It's just that it requires a lot of reserved addresses. And I'm like, that takes away a lot of what else I can do if I just reserve like 6 times 2 slots. So there's about 21 addresses I can play with, more or less. So that would literally take away 50% of what I could do in the future before I even do anything else. It's crazy. So I don't know how I feel about that. Either that or they'll be really, really greatly nerfed. Which I think is also fair because honestly, duplicator thrown items are broken in Alucard. Like it's literally like one of the best damage sources outside of Cryptogram. And like not even close competition. I don't know. I just don't feel like you should be able to do like 800 damage in 2 seconds. I'm just saying. I don't think that's healthy for the game. Like, no. We're gonna say no to that. But I was saying before, I want to add more interaction with the mist, so you're not just like hovering in place to deal damage. So I'm rewarding you if you do the mist boost, where you go through the all rocks by holding up with mist, and it does more damage briefly, and then it'll decrease to 6 if you have mist flight, or if you're doing up or down, it just does 4. So I just wanted to make sure if you were just playing really boring and you were just holding the direction to like neutral, it does like no damage. So I want you to be moving with this is ultimately what I want. Plus, it makes more sense from a contact damage standpoint that you need to be moving to do damage. So I gave a little more gameplay movement to it. And I think with the contact damage scaling, in terms of how often it hits, it allows me to actually scale it within as well as relics. So it has a bit more like oomph to it versus just like 1 1 1 1 1 1. I'm not going to read all the sub-weapon changes, but essentially we added 2 new ones. So we'll be playtesting, hopefully, excuse me, chat, at least 2 of them. Yeah, this one, I think I resolved for the most part. Yeah, I said some issues because I knew there were still... Sorry, chat, my throat is really bothering me. Give me 1 second. One moment. I don't have water up here either. There we go. Sorry about that, chat. Like, I had an itch in my throat and literally nothing to drink, which is the worst feeling. But I was saying, I did clean up some of the cheats. Like, if you happen to die and go back to the main menu, I think any kind of weird issue with that is resolved. It came up because of the new color changes, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I just make sure you remove things like the door cheats? I figure that's fair enough. We have soft lock fix for Akmadon, anti soft lock for Silver Ring. We saw in the previous session. Out of bounds protection for 3 specific rooms, and mostly just making sure things turn off when we die. Because I know Chad has seen me play. I very rarely die. So dying and seeing how that interacts at different points of the game, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm going to rely on the people that don't know how to play the mode. Just watch them and go, okay, that's how it interacts. So thank you all the testers for dying. It helped me out a lot. So I only really die to very specific bosses on purpose. I don't usually casually die. I play too safe. It's true, though. I can't think of the last time I died other than when I was testing subweapons, and that was on purpose. Like, literally. I don't think I've died in any of the last 12 runs I've done. I think I streamed at least 5 of them. I don't know. I also play much safer than the people that speedrun, so I'll always have more health because I get the max health. Not every time, but a lot of the times. I think that does make a difference. But yeah, I'm calling everybody out. I don't think I've died so far in a single Axe Lord armor run on stream. I think that's safe to say. Outside of literally testing something. Who knows? Maybe I'll die as karma. I almost died that one time versus Minotaur, unintentionally. It was really close. When my int was like something garbage. I think I was like level... What was it? I was like level 28 and my int was only 28. I was like, why is it so bad? That threw me off. So anyway, let's generate the business not casual seed. So if the color doesn't load in properly, as I said before, I'm not going to stop the build for it because I think there's enough balance testing and everything else that I'm okay with it if it loads with the normal color the first time in. It's like a very minor visual bug, and I don't even know if people would even consider it a bug the first time you load into the game. I'm not going to be worried about that too much. Let me go ahead and delete my existing randomized seed. Okay, I think we are good to go then. Let's boot it up again, so that way you don't hear the dead silence of the streams. I forgot to put on music. You get poked here for no reason. I'm poking everybody. I think everybody has died at least once while testing, so it's not just you. I didn't resolve it. Oh, did I not rename it? Hold on a second. I think that's what happened. Yeah, there we go. We're good. Let's go ahead and boot this up. Let's see. Axe armor only on. I'm gonna put on the axe armor tips because I want to make sure that those are working. I'm gonna experiment a little bit with the Richter start. I was noticing that my setup doesn't work in certain scenarios for the buffer, so I think it's also based off of where Dracula is positioned. I did notice I killed him less if he spawned on the right side. I don't know if he'll do it. If he spawns in the middle, I'm pretty sure he's always gonna get one cycled instantly. I was gonna say, yeah, Chris, keep it that way. Never die during SotN. Listen, if you don't play the game, you can't die in the game. It's a very true statement. I think we're good here. Oh, my ... file's missing. Hold on a second. Unfortunately, I think that's gonna mess up with the tracker. Might have to close the tracker. I want to see something. Is this the one with my latest file? If so, I'm just gonna restart. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't wanna overwrite this. I was like, we cleared the game so fast. I'm not losing this file, chat. Okay, I'll just save arbitrarily in one of these files, I guess. I mean, come on, it was like 53 minutes recorded. I'll just save over Sir Magic Penguins real quick. And then I'll reboot it. That is the downside of save states. It messes up like what save files you had loaded. Okay, I'm just doing this to make sure it's safe. So let's close it again. Indeed. Yeah, I think booting into an already completed file is just going to completely mess with the tracker, so let's not worry about that. Now, the curiosity will be, where will Dracula spawn now that I have more saves? I eventually need to clear out those saves, but I want to keep my 53-minute one. So I don't care if I have to delete literally everything else. I want to save our best time, chat. And I guess also all the ones that are named after the people that have watched. Eventually, we need the Antares seed. Eventually. So let's see what it does to the game, chat. What happens if I just leave all these saves here? Where will Dracula spawn? While that's happening, the tracker going. Okay. Nice. Oh, actually, by the way, chat, I would like to state that it was not me dropping those gravity boots. It was a bug. I need to put that in the bug patch list. I'm being totally serious. There is actually a cheat that was on that was messing up gravity jumps, and I didn't realize it did that until like between streams. So I should not miss gravity jump anymore. Ooh, that was a little late. I don't know if that'll count. Yeah, that was a little late. That's unfortunate.
No, it cannot be.
So the visual timing I'm looking for, and I tried something different there, but it was too slow, is when his after image merges with him, that is the exact moment he needs to be hit by Hydrostorm. So it's not the visual cue of you pressing it when it merges, it's like right as you see it, you need to do it. So I was trying a slightly different buffer setup of 2 whip, 2 crosses, but I moved differently for it. So it does actually matter if you move or not in between. So I'm gonna fine tune that buffer in the beginning. It still went pretty quick, don't get me wrong, but I could have improved it for sure by just waiting on the pause. Alright, let's get it started. I'm gonna damage boost the beginning. I feel like this is the optimal strat. I'm not waiting for the words. The only time you need to consider, I guess, not doing that strategy is if you start with Duplicator. I think it's worth using a Fireball here, just to damage boost a little less. So you can see that put me pretty low. I like that he stole our color. So at least that seems to be working, chat. These staircases, I've seen people do different things, but honestly, you could just skip multiples. I think going back and forth there is not ideal, for sure. So I'm gonna take a save here. Hello, Alec. Hope you're doing well. We're just showcasing the patch, and well, there's an Axe Lord armor. Well, I don't need that. We're talking about, like, I guess some movement strategy in theory. So majority of the opening, I guess to introduce people that haven't played it before, we're holding the wolf button and hitting a direction plus attack to get that boosted momentum. I'll pick this up just because. If I do that, if I do the attack, and I let go of the D-pad and hit jump, or hold jump during the attack, I'll get that launch off the floor there. So I think doing something like that would be optimal. Nothing but Axe Lord armor. You can steal it, death just like split better, something like that. You could jump multiple steps at a time there, which I think is ideal. This one's also kind of a weird one, because you have a kind of a weird gap out of the door. I like to do that in the middle platform to get through there. And for this particular room, I tend to go all the way to the left. So if I was maintaining momentum a little better, I could have used the glide button, which is normally that for people that are not aware. That's me just using glide slightly to make sure I have the momentum. If you're wondering, as a reminder, you cannot make that jump even with the enhanced jump on the right side of the map. I'd like to not use momentum in this room in particular because it is really easy to overshoot the platform. There's only a few rooms in the game where I will not be holding R2 in order to build up speed, aka the wolf button. And that's one of them. Now I'm gonna go back to holding R2. I'm gonna slide in and then just do a fireball maybe. I did it way too early. That's okay. You can punish him on the way down. You can see you could kind of hit stun him a little bit there, which is good. Ideally, you kind of want to do what you would do with Tetra Spirit, where you hit both of them with the spell. The lower fireball is so good at setting up on bosses. It's probably my preferred boss kill. Like, I will do that almost over every other spell in the game for sure. Anyway, just some simple platforming where I let go of the momentum button. Now I'm holding R2/wolf for momentum. I don't feel like checking items. I don't think you really need them that badly in Axe Lord armor. The only thing I'm really interested in for the most part is defense. Unless it's a specific thing that could give me like a ring or a shield. Just skip it. So if you time the slices there, and it's pretty lenient with the timing, you'll never get hit in that hallway. You don't even have to damage boost. Damage boosting is useful to get through multiple enemies, or if I want to slide down the platform there. I slightly missed the ledge cancel. So if you fall off the edge, ooh, terrible ghost card. If you fall off, oh wait, leather shield. I'm going back to that actually. I'm gonna wear that later. I don't really need it at the moment, but I need it eventually. So if you fall off the ledge after you take damage and you're in that state where you're on your butt, if you go off the ledge, it will instantly let you rise and have actions. So that's what I was going for. I just did it like literally like 5 pixels too far. That's okay. So kind of same strategies. If I get hit here, I'll just take the damage boost. I don't think it really matters. We didn't make the cycle, so... Well, I guess I should probably just wait. Honestly, you could do this out of logic. Compared to Alucard, I don't need, like, the leap zone for it or anything. So I'll just take the time loss here. Goggles, maybe. That's almost enough items for me to consider wearing something. I'm mostly looking to see if I could get early flight here or not. This is out of logic. You could kind of skip some of the complexity of the seeds by doing this. It's worth doing. Oh, so there is the complicated maneuver there. So I basically attacked up the stairs. I hit jump. I tapped R1 in order to redirect in the air. I hit the opposite direction, so I was going right up the stairs. And I hit left. And that let me kind of move around the corner. Wow, there's nothing there? Really? Wow. Okay, I'll just say bad seed. I can't even get anything early there. Can I make the shield sprite show on Axe Lord? I could, but I don't think it would look right. So you can just do the axe slices to go through there, kind of like how you do the Alucard backslash. Doesn't require too tight timing, as you probably saw. So one thing you kind of have to do is pay attention to where the lips of the stage are, and if you can, just jump a little preemptively. It does save a little bit of time. Oh, there's where I could have gotten another redirect. As I said before, it's kind of tricky. But if you're wondering how I'm redirecting, like facing left but I jumped right, I'm tapping R1. Normally, I'll just showcase, if you hold R1, you have a slow descent for a brief period of time. Once you get that, it's better. I'm gonna damage boost through all of these. I could technically jump through them, but I think it's faster just to damage boost, and my defense is okay. Now, if you time this really, really well, you actually don't need to damage boost the stone rows. I missed it there, but it's okay. There's something weird about his invincibility when you attack. Like, it's like right... You have to make contact with the axe rows and about to touch within the same frame. Actually, I'm gonna go back for that, because that's potentially a sellable. Worth decent money. Is this totally... No, not worth it. So again, I'll probably just damage boost this room. I think you'll be seeing me do that as a preferred strategy for most rooms, just because I think MP is such a precious resource. There's only like a couple of areas where I think it is like by far the only method you should be using. But I think when in doubt, it's better just to take the damage and let your MP regen than to use something like Flight and drain it constantly. Oh, that momentum was crazy. I didn't mean to do that, but that was interesting. Interesting. Now, fortunately, he has a very simple strategy. Slow Fireball destroys him. This spell is definitely meant to juggle loop that boss. I'm just saying. You know what? I'm not even gonna pick up the health max. We don't even need it. It's fine. We're doing well enough, right, chat? It's fine. I'm gonna do this item check as well. Mostly just looking for sellables. I could have gone through the wall up there, I guess, to get more sellables, but we got the Onyx, so I guess it worked out. Gold, not bad. Yeah, this one is probably the most awkward to do without relics, like doing the redirect. So you won't see me go for it too often. Once we get a couple relics, I'll go for it more. But zigzags are extraordinarily awkward on purpose for Axe Lord armor with no relics. I'm gonna take it a little slow there. But essentially, I could do the same strat. Oh, there's Jewel of Open, whatever. Essentially, I could do the same strat I was using on the other staircases. The only problem with doing it here is that the enemies are kind of far... They're kind of like exactly where I need to be for the boost. Unless I get like the axe slice perfectly, I'm gonna get destroyed. I'm just gonna showcase that this is fixed. So we're gonna walk here, the game will pause, and it'll let us load in. That door is very weird because for some reason, it only lets you go into that room if you activate the door. It's one of two doors that are like that, the other being the reverse outer wall. I'm gonna go to the library and hope I get something other than Jewel of Open here. Here's another example where I think it's important to kind of restock your health just for the damage boosts, because you might not be strong enough to one-shot them. Messed up my momentum there. Yeah, you can see like with good timing, you almost never get hit. Oh, I forgot to jump there. Build momentum. I don't think with vanilla relics I can make that jump. I think that's too tight of a turn. Oh, we finally got a skill of Wolf, so now I'm starting at max speed always, which is nice. As a reminder, if you play Axe Armor mode, please don't skip relics. Makes life much easier. I want to see if we can do this with no relics. I think you can. Unfortunately, that book scared me. Yeah, I need to do something like this. There we go. You can make that jump without any other crazy relics. I got regular wolf, so I could do all rocks now if I was able to get any other form of play. But I'll take the damage up on the wolf strikes. So wolf and swift wolf are not like the most synergistic for sure. There's me doing the jump tech to get to the platform.
I'm interested in
3,000, that's enough to get a Vlad relic.
interested in this.
Thank you.
Well, I guess we're gonna do Archdemon. So here's the deal. The only things you want to purchase as Axe Armor are healing items, life apples, shields. Alucard shield? Oh.
Thank you.
Chat, GG, it's over. Never buy armor as Axe Armor. Don't make that mistake.
Farewell for now.
Don't be that person that gets something for Axe Armor. But yeah, it's over, chat. It's actually over. I'm gonna have so much defense. Anyway, now my damage boosting strategy is godlike. For those not aware, the vanilla damage values in First Castle, you need basically 20 to be invincible to everything in First Castle. We're already at 15. And that's way more than enough. Like, you'll see me literally just go through this room with just no care in the world. Now, we do have another form of flight, so I guess I can show it off here. So because of the form of mist, I'm able to actually slide through the room and go through there easier. There's a lot of little nuance tech you could do in order to get into the room easier. There we go. And that's why I conserved all my MP, chat. If you're wondering why I don't use it for flight all the time, it's specifically so I can dump on bosses like that. Slow Fireball is your friend, but while Slow Fireball is out, you can still cast the other Fireball. And it's a familiar world out here. I was going for the ledge cancel there, but I did it way too early. I deserve that. And the nice thing is, because I have Form of Mist, I could get extended flight. So if I need to make this gap... Oh, I hit the life save. Yeah, so if I need like an extended jump, you can see I could go in the air for quite a while. It makes it a little easier to do with the ledges there. You can see there I got it in one jump, and I ledge canceled that. And I still had momentum off of that, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. Even if you get struck, you still have momentum. So I took advantage of that and just got another boost. I lost like maybe a quarter of a second, but I went through that room almost instantly. There's lots of ways you could go through the game, get momentum. Picked up more money. I think we got everything we need though. I did the ledge cancel there. It's really satisfying when you get the ledge cancel, chat. Like, I am going for those on purpose, just so you're aware. It's a little precise, because you do need to at least land for a couple frames in order to get it. I haven't decided where I'm gonna go routing-wise, actually. I should have thought about that. So, there's only really Jewel of Open. I guess I should be going down. I don't have Flight, or else I would do almost literally everything else for this. I guess we're going back this way. I could go for that one check and keep if I really want to. Oh, I want to showcase the movement. It's like right there. Oh no, hold on. Let's get this on camera. There. No, I killed it. It's like right as you go to slide in. There you go. It's like there, but you don't kill them. It's very tricky. It's like sort of lenient, but not really. Maybe we'll get it on the way back. We'll see. I said before, it's better just to use the miss button to go up little platforms so you don't lose momentum. So now that I have that, I have a more convenient way of dealing with steps. I don't have to predict them as much. If you haven't seen it before, Jewel of Open will disable the blue doors. Progression is still needed. I'm gonna go ahead and slide in there with Form of Mist. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna see me use a lot of the Form of Mist flight over the normal jumps. Even though it costs a little bit of MP, I'm still being fairly conservative with MP, because I basically want to waste no time with bosses. So I don't want to do save point MP restores. Ooh, I almost didn't make that. That was close. That would have been embarrassing. Yeah, with just Form of Mist, or actually even with Soul of Wolf, actually, by the way, chat. Why am I saving? I don't need habits. We're fine. We're gonna get full healed here anyway.
What?
I made him what as I briefly had control. Okay, so the timing here, we're gonna wait for her to fly up, and only when she's in the air is she vulnerable, so right here. That's where I'm gonna use the triangle. So I don't think I talked about that before, but the triangle button is the spell button. So when you're in the air, it's the multi-fireball. if you hold the bat button down, you could get that on demand. I think this is the weakest we've done Succubus. But even then, it was a pretty fast fight. Like, we had literally no bat relics and no flight, so that went pretty well. Speaking of which, what is my int at? Oh, it's 31? It's already better than when I was playing against Minotaur before. I'll take that. So, the natural stat boosts of the armor are plus 10 to your base strength, plus 10 to your base int. So I did not technically roll that number, it's just how I calculated it into the game. Okay, so I'm gonna hold L1/mist and down in order to fast fall faster here. It also lets me clip through that platform, which I think is a big time save. Now, I don't have a lot of MP here, but I don't really need it for this boss. Ooh, I didn't get the kill. What am I off by like 1 damage? Bad luck. Anyway, we're gonna check what item this is. Iron Fist, don't need it. I want to not soft block myself, so I'm gonna let the water rise a bit more. Fire boomerang, okay. Do a little hop there. Our goal is probably another slow fireball, something like this. Slow fireball's so good, chat. It's so good. Leapstone, interesting. So I got triple jump now. It's the longest you've seen Scylla last. It's true. She got an attack out. I'm so sorry, chat. We don't have any bat relics. I can't speed it up. There I had to do a full jump, because that's a little high for miss. Don't have Merman, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna hold the momentum button down here, because it's not too bad if I build momentum by accident. I'll check this item check real quick. Unfortunately, you can't push the box. There's a couple ways you can deal with it. I just prefer to attack through it, honestly. You can use the faceplant for more speed. Speaking of more speed, why am I not getting speed? That was weird. Try this again. Now, ideally here, if you have flight, this is one of the rooms you'd probably fly in to some extent, like that. Even Form of Mist would speed that room up pretty significantly. All you have to do is go near the switch. You don't have to press the switch. If you need the item, you can just go back in. Dare I go for the far left one? I don't think I do. I think I just come back for that. I don't feel like circling around this area again. Oh my gosh, I almost missed that jump. I'm gonna come back for a chat. So, funny enough, we have almost everything we need to do a spike breaker skin. I might still go for it. I haven't tried without gravity boots, so this is a little risky, but I think it's doable, as long as I can get the jump. Still fireball OP, chat. Oh, didn't kill. Fine, that should kill. So close. I could have used faceplant there to dodge the shot. I just thought the boss was dead. The boss has 666 health. I just didn't do math correctly. That's on my bad. I'm also used to having Bat Relic, so we usually do like another 20 to 30 damage. So for people that haven't seen it before, Bat Relics improve your spell damage by quite a bit. We got Grip of Vlad, so I have even more defense. So now I'm unkillable. I can damage boost through almost everything in the game right now, which is kind of nice. I could open this up. I was just thinking about it. In case I have to come back here. I guess if I can't get the spike breaker, I need that. I don't think I care about most of these items, to be honest. Ooh, new cloak. We'll do it for the chat. Oh, Joseph's cloak. Oh god, what horrible color am I gonna get? Oh, that is horrendous. What a thing of beauty, chat. We're radioactive now. Thank you, Joseph's cloak. I will actually save here in case this goes horribly awry. So one thing I'm concerned about is iframes. So I basically needed something that gives me iframes. So Mist lets me get through a majority of the spike breaker room, but I don't have a clean way of jumping up with iframes, so it's gonna be a little tricky, and it might cost me a bit of health. So we're gonna see if I can do it out of logic. Well, I'm gonna have to do this blind as well. I think it is doable, but unfortunately I got the early bonk. Yeah, so I'm halfway through. I'm almost at the tricky part. Jump from like here-ish. So here's the problem. I don't remember where the wall is. I think I'm gonna die here. So, okay, we get to see a game over, chat. I forgot where the wall was in vanilla. My bad. I gotta practice that. It is doable, it looks like, with just these relics. But, yeah, I forgot where the wall was. I think I might have had to have gone left and then up. That's one of those things I have to kind of memorize. I think it's our first death in quite a long time. But then I was also going for something I don't normally go for, so that makes sense. It's fine, we'll just go back here. So, I don't technically need Spike Breaker. I might just skip it. But I was hoping to get the skip. Yeah, that is much easier to do if we had the Echo. 20 minutes ago when I never died. Yeah. I mean, I was going for Blind Bat with no invincibility. I didn't see what card that was. Was that a meal ticket? It was a meal ticket. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna die to bosses. I'm gonna die to me doing stuff out of logic. Yeah, I might go for another attempt on that. It's just really hard for me because I don't play the game that often in terms of, like, memorizing that room layout. Like, I don't mind fighting every boss at, like, no health, no relics, but, like, Blind Bat? Nah, I don't do that casually, ever. I shouldn't have gone for it, it's fine. I don't have Bat again, so this is actually kind of annoying. I think the best bet is slow Fireball, and then I'm gonna save the rest of my MP for Glide. Something like this. Yeah, because I don't have a lot of air damage here. This could take a while, actually. If this ends up being Echo a Bat, I will go back for Spike Breaker, by the way. I can hold the bat button there for more glides, which I do need in order to hit this. You could stop your mid-air jump with R1. I'm gonna play it safe there. The boss fight went okay. Again, that's really, really awkward to do without plate. I mean, you could triple jump for more, like, strikes, but I don't find it super, super helpful. Just because it's still very easy to bonk on the upper part. Unless you also kill the upper part, I guess, of Grand Balloons, that way you can jump through them. Speaking of which... Okay, well, I get to have my revenge on that room. So I know how to do this with Bat. It'll be the same theory, I'll just be able to see it, that's all. Well, I'm glad I went here and not anywhere else, because that would have been a waste of time. But anyway, we now have flight, which means I can do that room and get around that wall easier. I can do it the intended way. I could have Superman through there, but I also need MP for the flight, so I think that was probably still a good call. So I have to go back to Spike Breaker. Normally I would have said that was a bad call. I should have used flight to go through there, because I was going to get to a safe point anyway. Yeah, like, okay. Now this is much easier. If you hold the miss button down with Bat, you fly. So, like, where was the wall? Like, right here? Yeah, that's it. There's, like, a little lip to it. I kind of want to do this in reverse, just to see if I could do it. I want to get revenge on this. No, I was, like, right here. Oh, I was too high up. Oh, so if I did something like this... Yeah. Yeah, that's not hard to do. It's just I couldn't see where the wall was. So yeah, it is possible to do it with only, actually pretty much base relics. I don't think you really need anything for that. There we go. I forgot there were 2 jumps there. I think I was 1 jump too soon to it. Because I was wondering why I was getting hit while jumping upwards, so I must have been on, like, the, upper platform and not realized it. I'll call that inexperience with the game. But hey, I made the jump, at least, when I could see the room. Anyway, now that I have Spike Breaker, I have automatic Spike Immunity. I feel like I mostly redeemed myself on that last jump. That's all I needed. I remembered this wall. That was like... I know I just have to get through that line, which is a little tight. Because the Axe Armor goes pretty quickly upwards. Yeah, I'm going to use the Superman jump, where I hold jump, mist, and flight. And I'm going to use this to skip most of the room. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm just going to immediately save.
What?
So I guess we just go back through the castle normally. Because I can go back to entrance, for example. Well, no, I should go all the way out because I can check whatever that check is near the ferryman. I don't know what that relic is in vanilla. But whatever it is. I don't know if it's a holy symbol or what the deal is. Merman statue. I guess it might be Merman. Or just use flight here. Not gonna worry about it. So fortunately we got flight, so I did not have to come back for the Spike Breaker, quote unquote. Yeah, I think with a little bit of practice, I could probably do that relicless. Obviously it's ultra free if you have that. You're just cheating at that point. There we go. Do some little side-to-side navigation. Hey Cryo, hope you're doing well. It goes pretty well outside of one death doing a blind spike room. But I don't think we'll be seeing any more deaths for the rest of the round. So I'm actually going to use the Superman flight here. I'm going to drop down real fast. Could have gone that health max. I'm going to build some MP because I need it for the entrance. I'm going to choose to just damage boost over flight here. Not that you can't use flight there, but I'm going to be moving. Oh, I forgot. We have 1 check to make. I'm going to trigger the cutscene. We're going to ignore him. There we go. Well, this is a good reason to conserve MP. That is much faster than taking the boat. Oh, all that for another card? Am I going to get every familiar? Come on. Yeah, we're going to fly here to save some time. Then I'm going to redirect my direction up here. Okay, I'm convinced. That was good movement. So my MP is very low, but I have enough that I should be able to make the flight here. I'm gonna conserve it and just damage boost. I'm gonna use it on the way back. Would be ideal. I just need to make sure I don't run out doing this specifically. Seriously? Chat, wow, okay. Well, whatever. I guess I don't need other relics. It's fine. Yeah, let's use a little bit of our MP here. I'm gonna ledge cancel that. Hidden room toggle. You know what? I might as well show that off. Here, we'll pick up the food items. Okay. We're gonna build momentum and use the last of our MP here, I think. I guess this is faster if I have a little bit of MP left still. Yeah, I have just enough to do this. I think that was good usage there. Blue uniform and red undies, Axe Lord Superman, something like that. I didn't mean to save there, I just meant to refill MP, but that's fine. What are you looking at? You're looking at a modded Axe Lord armor, where we just played the game as only Axe Lord armor. Build momentum in the hallway. Should be able to fly. Oh. I went backwards there. That is very interesting. I've never seen that before. I didn't even realize you could change your direction in the doorway. Did you know that, chat? I learned something new today. I guess because I was, like, holding mist it let me do that? Oh, there's our bat relics. Oh, that would have made the bosses so much faster. That's like a 50% int bonus to the slow fireball, which is godlike. Flight, I think, is still faster than jumping. I'm gonna do it this way. Oh, I got the damage boost there. That was actually amazing. Damage boost into the ledge cancel on a box. Kinda sick. Now, unfortunately, he has a little bit of momentum here, so unless you go straight up with gravity boots, unfortunately, I have to do that kind of back and forth motion. There we go. I just did a slash into a buffered flight. You gave me Merman here. Chat, do I even bother going back for Merman, or do I just legit skip Merman? How you feeling about that, chat? Like, we just came from there. I really don't want to go back. It's like, it's all for one check. If I did, I would have to save split it, because there's no way. There's no way, chat. Alright, so we have enough for the silver ring, so we could do keep in the reverse order, and I could do all rocks and everything else. Yeah, I'm gonna do the other places first. I could save split, check it. Like, I could save it gold silver ring once I have gold silver. I think that would be faster than doing that and then doing whatever else. If I really just want to make sure there's no flat there. Oh, oops. That was bad momentum. Better momentum. Ledge canceled on the stair, so I can serve my MP. Oh, we gotta wait anyway. If you hold perfectly still, you regen more MP than usual. So this is probably for the best. We need to come up here, so I'll just wait. How far off are we, by the way? Ooh, quite a while. Well, I guess I don't need to refill my MP, because it should basically be at the second green notch, I would imagine, more or less. Okay. Not too bad. And we hit the green notch. That's about what I expected. Gravity is checked. No, but I'm coming back here anyway. I could have, I guess, checked it while I was waiting, but I don't think it matters ultimately too much. I just lost like 18 seconds. There's... thinking about this. Guess I could just go up here. Oh, that was an interesting way to get through that. Okay, I definitely want this warp. I am definitely going to be using this to come back for gold silver. Unfortunately, I don't have gravity boots, so this descent is a little slow. But it is what it is. I think this will work. Yeah, I'm gonna refill MP. I think not doing that would be a big mistake on this boss. Like, even though I have a bat relic, I feel like... yeah, good. I'm actually gonna ledge cancel here so I can get more MP. We're gonna go through that little teeny tiny gap. I still got pretty good MP. Should be a pretty easy fight. Oh, oops, I meant to turn around and do that. That was a waste of MP. I'm gonna go behind him, actually. One more fireball should kill him. Yeah, when we have the bat relics, easy fight. Goodbye, all rocks. Okay, so I'm gonna hold still to get MP. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, nothing. Brutal. Anyway, I'm gonna take momentum from here to go through here. Be careful not to bonk like that, because that does cost a lot of MP. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold on to what I have, so I can make the fight back. Actually, I won't be making the fight back. That's right. I'll be going left because I'm going to go to keep. There we go. Oh, there's gravity boots. You need to crouch for that one to hit. I don't know what you mean. I didn't think about this. I'm still kind of like new to the game. I usually just look at the map, but I should probably know where Silver Ring is. I know. There we go. Nice try, Maria. Listen, I'm using momentum to grab that door in the cutscene. You try to stop me all you want, Maria. Listen. Icky Feet's going through and we're out of here. I don't have a ton of MP for Hippogriff, but I think this should be enough. Unless I don't go, like, too crazy. Oh, did I get stuck? Oh, no. This is the thing that can happen? Uh-oh. Well, Run is dead. Unless I, like, clip out. How am I stuck in the bell? Hold on, chat. I have to cheat my way out of here. Well, I'm gonna put this in the notes. I know, I'm stuck in this for some reason. I don't know how I'm in the bell, but I'm definitely in the bell. But I think we could free ourselves, Chad. We need to go free. Where's it at? There we go. We're out of there. I don't know. I didn't even realize you could get stuck in there. That threw me off for sure. I mean, I regened MP, so I mean, this fight will be easy at least. I mean, I guess I could put something in there for the bell. It's just kind of weird. Because I've jumped into the bell before and not gotten stuck, so there must be like some really specific angle that you can jump into and you just can't get out of it. I really don't need to perform any item checks, so I'm just gonna ignore them. That was Hour of Mist, I think. No, it was pinkish. Must have been Gas Cloud. I'll take Gas Cloud. I'm just using little gravity boot jumps. It must have some invisible platform there that I didn't know was even there. They got Power of Wolf, so now my max speed is actually quite high. I'll take this for later. I don't think I'll need the high potion, but we'll keep it. And now I think ideally I'll do something like this. Yeah, look at that flight speed, chat. Look at him go. Look at me get that back card. Thank you, back card. Chat, some things never change. Okay, we'll get Gas Clown. Looks like our damage is decent with Gas Cloud. I actually used the Flea Rider there on purpose to get the horizontal momentum. This area is kind of awkward to get the momentum. As you can see, it's a lot of up and downs. Speaking of which. Oh no, that's what I wanted. I had like second guessed myself. I was like, I hope I'm not going to the other area. Yeah, I want the warp here eventually. So I guess I'll circle around all the way through the castle, then I'll just take the warp back. Fine. Now here's where I need to memorize where the warps take you. But like, if I were to go from library, for example, what like, we know this one's lion, so I know that's there, but what is the one in the middle? Is it Scorpion? Or Karasamon. That fight is also kind of figured out. I might have been like slightly too close to him, but same strategy applies. So when in doubt, just damage boost. Or just do enough damage that you instantly kill them. I mean, that also works. So I highly recommend just the whole fast fall button there with the mist, where it's just down and mist, as that saves you so much time navigating through there. That's a pretty clean clock room overall. We're gonna use the Superman through the hallway. We're gonna carry it all the way up here. And I'm gonna slide right into Echo Bat and turn around during the pause. I might leave that in there. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, that was pretty fast. I guess since I'm gonna wait no matter what, I don't really need to refill the MP. But at this point, I'm just gonna go back for Holy Glasses, do the save there, watch the game try to freak out. Oh, that was interesting tech. Oh, that was interesting.
What?
Interesting. No, chat, we're in the glitch world, it's fine. Where are we going here?
What?
It'll fix itself eventually. I guess as a precaution, I guess I can add something else. I wanted to see what animal this was, but obviously it's not going to load properly. So I think what I'm going to do to safety check this is I'm going to say... Oh, I actually missed the one I was going for because I was so distracted by the glitches. I guess what I'll end up doing is probably setting momentum to 0 to make sure you can't slide through there.
What?
So while you are able to use the door, it looks like you go through there. We're in glitch land for sure.
What?
In my defense, I couldn't see what animal the warp was, so I lost track of which one I was at. So it'll fix itself. Oh, Roxas go. Thank you, Cryo. Let's go ahead and get the Superman play through here. Now, the more you touch the floor, the more momentum you lose. And if you do lots of back and forths like that, you do lose momentum. But it's worth probably undoing it. Although I have to say, with the power of Wolf, it's a little tighter on the turns there, because if you actually let yourself fall off and not change directions, you will get destroyed. Let's get the gravity boots while we're here. What was even here? Oh, I'm glad we missed absolutely nothing, chat. So you are allowed to move during this cutscene, because there are just so many soft locks with this room. So I think ideally you just wait in the center of the room, recharge your MP. That way you have better flight around the room. And oh, we'll pick up Holy Glasses. Then I guess I'll save Split for that stupid check at Merman. I am curious. I think it would probably be better to skip it in this scenario still. But I have very low faith, chat. That will not be a Vlad relic. I feel like the game would do that to me. We're gonna save after we get the Holy Glasses.
Alucard?
I love that momentum we have. Amazing. There we go. Going on the time. Need a reminder. Okay, so it's open during evens. Okay, I should be able to do that then. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna go for that one check all the way over there, just because I want to showcase the movement, if nothing else. We're gonna fly out of there. Aw, yes. Ramps are a little weird. You can get the ledge cancel off of the ramp, because technically you can fall off of the ramp. Ramps in this game are a little goofy. But I want to showcase like movement through the Merman. So there's two ways you could basically get through the Merman place, and I was interesting. I turned myself around again. Huh. Okay, well, note to self, don't do that in the future. But I will state that there's two ways to go through it. If you don't have flight, you can actually go along the bottom, and it is really, really fast. Or you could Superman all the way there. Now, it doesn't look like we have Holy Symbol, which is a bit unfortunate. So I have to play a little cautious. I think on the way back, Flight is fairly straightforward. I think we've seen Flight. We understand how it works. I might as well show off the boat, and then we'll probably go along the bottom on the way back, just to showcase it. Well, there's even a health max there if I really need it. Oh, that would have rewarded the Flight, for sure. That's like one of the few times where I'm happy to see the life max in a weird spot like that. Yeah, this area is really tricky with the Flight. Yeah, so I'm gonna go through with low Flight. I'll do it backwards, for sure. But just showcasing you can also dunk through the boat. Okay, is this gonna be a holy symbol? Question mark? Absolutely nothing. Well, we'll do it on the way back, but I'm still probably gonna save split this. So the movement would be something like this. You just get damage boosted on bats. It's honestly really fast. Jump slightly too soon. Ooh. Your momentum is slower underwater, but it's better than taking the boat. If you have any kind of flight, you just do something like that. I think we're just gonna reset here, because I'll put myself back on the clock cycle this way. So, wow, absolutely nothing. Couldn't even get, like, Forma Mist. Disappointing, chat. So we lost probably about a minute or so to getting stuck to the bell, which is unfortunate. But I think time-wise, we're doing okay-ish. And obviously I did Merman, which is like probably something I would skip in a normal run. But hey, we're here to showcase everything. So if we don't get to every boss before completing the run, we will continue onwards and we'll just go back into the seed and just try the bosses. No matter what, we're going to fight all rocks, for example, today. I want to make sure chat has some strategies for that boss. So one thing that I did to make the Richter fight not as horrendous, so there's the goat. Thank you, Cryo, again. Horse. Snake. I guess that makes sense. Okay. The next one should be what I'm looking for. Lion. There we go. So one thing I did is that because you can't really turn off the relics, quote unquote, in order for you to maybe deal with Richter easier, I fully disabled Gas Cloud within Richter's room. The reason I want to do that is because, one, I think you do need to be able to dodge. And your dodge button hurting him is kind of a big problem. But I think from a balance standpoint, that just kind of made sense. And two, I know there's mods that weaken Richter quite a bit. And that would be GG. Oh, it did get rid of my shields. Interesting. I wonder why it did that. I definitely had double Alucard shield here. I guess if you die, it can clear your hand of items, which I didn't know it could do. I'm gonna make a small note here. 1 second, chat. Dying clears items. That could be why I didn't see it in the other runs, because that was the first time we had like a menu check after a death, because usually I die and I just reset. Oh, hello. Hello, Richter. You're looking a little goofy today. Yeah, I lost the shop items. It's okay, though. So if you have flight, this is pretty easy. If you don't have flight, you're in for a bad time, for sure. So, oh, I did run out of MP. Okay, I'm in for a bad time. Fortunately, I at least have Leech Stone. That is a tanky orb, chat. It should die hopefully soon. It's weird because I also don't have that many Glide Relics. I'll take a look at that later. I mean, granted, I don't have a Subweapon that would have sped this up significantly, but still. I feel like that was at least 15 hits. Alright, we got him confused briefly. Really? What? Is there a bug with the orb health? Wait a minute. I am actually gonna die from this. Why do I not have, What is this orb health? Excuse me?
Magnificent. But
Chat, that was like
feel
30
my
hits.
Unbridled wrath.
I didn't change anything recently. It should only be, I think 15 hits? It shouldn't be that much more. Like, this is quite ridiculous. Is this just not breakable? What's happening? I know, Calvicium. I said it more than vanilla, but I'm like, I literally can't break the orb. Wow, that was like 40 hits. I'm gonna take a look at that. That is not correct. Jeez, wow. Okay, I wanted the fight to be longer, but not that long. Yeah, I had one Vlad relic, so it should be 16 hits. Not 40 something. I have to take a look at that later. Yeah, I almost died to losing my Alucard shields, and also that having double health. It's close. Yeah, that was like higher than like the max setting should have ever been. Like, that's even higher than if I had 5 Vlad relics. So I don't know what was going on there. That was weird. Fine though, we'll get through it. I will save though, because I don't want to redo that fight. Anyway, good call to keep that high potion from earlier. It's like, I'm pretty sure that was more than 25. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure my cap is 32 with 5 Vlad, and I only had 1 Vlad, so that was quite ridiculous. Also, I'm only 1 Vlad into second castle. It's kind of bad. Kind of bad, chat. Okay, we're gonna use the air fireball there to speed it up a little bit. I'll just wait for the relic. We got literally every familiar. Well, chat, at least I can't get the familiar card anymore. That's the most important thing. I think we have officially run out. Yeah, we said had some very goofy things happen this run, but hey, we recovered. I shouldn't have any reason to come back that way, actually. I'm not gonna take that word. Wow, we're doing so much damage, I'm able to destroy them. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder why he was so tanky there. Kind of weird. It's like, maybe it triggered it twice for some reason. I don't know. Or Medusa. You're another boss that's just kind of figured out. Oh, I didn't get the neutral fireball. That is unfortunate. I didn't have enough MP. I should have looked at my MP. Okay, now this is a real boss, briefly. Thought I had enough for 1 more fireball. Apparently I didn't. Close. MP matters, chat. I should have restocked. Oh, there's the Heart of Vlad. Wow, we've gotten this far and no Cube of Zoe. That's actually really rough. So I'm used to having a sub-weapon by now. Brutal, chat. Also, that glide was something else. Oh, still too much momentum. Fine, we'll get through it. So I think for these normal hallways, definitely the slide attack is preferred. It goes through the balloons. Even if they spawn their annoying little clouds, it doesn't really make a difference. I was worried because I got caught, I would clip there. Yeah, that sucks. That one then. Okay, let's get the triple jump in here. Yeah, my MP is like dangerously low. That kind of limits my movement here to some extent. But we are definitely restocking before Aquadon. Our goal here is to just do the neutral inputs. Forgot you could break that in 1 hit. That's kind of dumb. Because the vanilla, not the vanilla, the normal castle version takes 3 hits. Okay, so I conserved a little bit of MP, just specifically so I could do that. There we go. I'll save again. Let me think about it this way. I guess I'll just do the normal route that people do. So I'm gonna go to Trio, then Bees. Might end up being an all-boss run, we'll see. What a beautiful movement through that hallway. Anyway, hello to the world's easiest boss. I should be using Fireball there. But ultimately, it really doesn't matter. It saves me like 1 spell input. Ice Ball is still fine. But ideally, you'd use Fireball there, up in triangle to do that. Slash your backdash button. Okay, I got another form of mist. So that lets me do a lot more kind of skips along the ground. So like there, I call that land dolphining, where you go up, you fall, and then you go up again using the mist boost. So you can kind of do that to skip some of those rooms. Not Scylla bad, but still sad. I mean, Scylla hit me though. Akmadon literally cannot hit me. Actually, I'm gonna fall because it's still faster for me to go back and gravity boot than it is to fly. Okay, it's looking like I'm probably gonna need this warp to come back, because there's no way I'm gonna get 3 Blood Relics where I would need that warp. Unfortunately, none of the other checks were useful. Ooh, I didn't get the momentum there. Try that again. There we go. Lose a little bit of momentum there. I'm gonna fall here so I could get some MP. Nice. I'll do the rapid face plant just to get through that hole a little smoother. I'm just doing this to restock MP. And I think from here, I can damage boost there. Isolation, since I lost my shield, do that. Hey, so you're doing well. Slow Fireball should catch the 2 in the middle, but I'll need to switch to Air Fireball for the other ones. Oh, I like barely put the cross. Unfortunate. Really? I didn't get the Fireball out in time? That's unfortunate. Okay, she's dead. Yeah, she takes a lot from the Air Fireball. She gets absolutely wrecked by it. So with better positioning, you could have landed more of them. I don't know why he's walking backwards in the corner, but we'll take that. You know what, chat? We'll take this. We'll take that. Okay, please, Vlad Relic, please. Wow. Wow, this is bad. Is this gonna be a full clear? Wow, we have only so many checks left, chat, and I still need 3 Vlads. Craziness. Also, I need to not damage boost that. Yeah, that's good enough. We discovered new bugs I've never seen before, so that's interesting. I'm probably gonna make a hotfix for them, but I think otherwise the patch is pretty stable. I think, like, I'm gonna have to deal with the bell. Of all things I thought would potentially, like, softlock you, did not think about the bell. Oh, we're seeing Galamoth no matter what, Calvisium. I was saying, even if he's not in the seed, we're gonna go back and do him. It's like slightly too much momentum there. That's the downside. This room is kind of awkward to do, I think, no matter what. Because it's possible to go further forward than it is up. You want, like, kind of minimum momentum. So I guess what I could have done there differently is if you hold down an attack, like after you hold forward, you use the minimum momentum speed to go up there. I think that would have been it. So that's me hitting down and slash, and this is me hitting forward. You can see, like, there's a big speed difference. So I think that would have given me the momentum needed to go up the stairs, in hindsight. But oh well. It's fine. So I definitely want as much MP as possible for this boss fight, so I think, ideally, what I'm gonna do is I started on this side of the room. I'm gonna use up a triangle to get a slow fireball, and I'm gonna try to pave the way with air fireball and just slice repeatedly. Oh, his arm, like, barely bonked me. That was bad. So close. He's almost dead, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So close. Almost a flawless fight. Okay, what's in this room? Holy symbol. Chat, where's Cuba Zoe? Come on. I want to showcase tech on one of the Doppels. No, it's not gonna let. Is it? We really not getting it before Doppel? Sucks. Unless I might as well save split creature at this point, given that it seems to be wasting my time with where these Vlad relics are. I guess I'll do yet another save split. I'm breaking my normal taboo of not doing save splits while streaming. Yeah, this is just ridiculous. I almost had the momentum I needed, like that. I'll go back for that MP, actually. It's empty without the cube, exactly. We need the cube. Yes, Mateus. So there's basic gameplay tips on what the relics do. But if you ever have any questions about specific relics, now would be the stream to ask it, I think. We talked about most of them when we picked them up. The bat relics, I guess in general, we talked about adds spells damage, but it also adds 1 fireball per bat relic. Also, this is kind of a sick hallway to do with the momentum shifts. Yeah, this is kind of sick. Back and forth there, regain our momentum. These gravity boots here. I just want to get to the save. Knowing me, creature is going to be required, and we're not going to need it. As I have had terrible, terrible luck skipping creature. I think we're 1 in 7 has been a successful skip it and it wasn't required. Pretty bad odds, chat. Pretty bad odds. So I'm going to bank on it being creature. Oh, that door momentum, though, is crazy. Nice. We'll take this. This hallway is a little awkward to do. I would recommend if you don't have Flay, you need to face plan to get through those. Because otherwise, I think your horizontal momentum is not good enough. But yeah, if you have Flay, this is like the best hallway in the game. This is one of my favorite hallways. It's amazing. Yeah, this is normally like absolutely heinous to go through. But no, it's super easy when you have Flay. Super easy. Normally you have to like just stop and go constantly. No one has time for that. A new shield. He's immune to Thunder, so no reason to use Thunderball. I think Ice is still effective here. Thank you, slow-moving Fireball. You're the best. I could have burned more MP there, I guess, to speed it up. Oh, chat, look, to no one's surprise, creatures required. Of course. See, chat, this is why I don't bother save splitting this most of the time. He's required every time, every seed. I thought I was gonna skip this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm here. I might as well just get the MP. Guess we'll just fly from here. It's fun. Oh, I got sucked up to the ceiling. I'm gonna fall here, get some momentum. I'm like, of course he's required. Of course he is. Well, I don't creature spread. But anyway, if you get through the doorway, you could do the slash and just jump and get out of there. Quote 2, never skip creature, something like that. I have felt like it has never paid off for me in like almost any seed. I've tried it every time. Always failed. So interestingly, we never picked up a accessory that gives us defense. But I don't think we need it because we're at 33 defense, and that's still pretty good, honestly. I mean, 40 would make us basically immune to Dracula. 33 means, like, we'll take some damage. Galamoth would still be kind of scary. I'm gonna save... I think not... Oh, I probably should have batted there, actually. I'm gonna save up here, because then I could do yet another save split, and acknowledge I vaguely know when to do save splits. So we're going to do, I guess, Doppel. Yeah, there's updates on Galamoth to make him tougher. So again, because we don't have any sub-weapons, I can't show anything cool. I could showcase you could kind of cheese the intro by momentuming through it. Oh, he actually got out of it there. Anyway. If you time it well, he basically doesn't get to do anything. So because I missed one spell, it cost me some MP, but it's not a big deal. I'll still have enough for the octopus room, and that's all I really care about. That almost went poorly. That's like I caught myself at the last minute. Force of Echo? Okay. If it's cube, I might keep it, chat. Also, I ran out of MP. What's over here? Mark Potion. Oh, that could be useful later. Alright, let's take the damage boost. And jump through here. Ooh, that was like pixels left. Yeah, we'll keep it if it's cube. It kind of has to be something at this point. Like, what else would it be? Have we not used up every empty check? I think it has to be cube or relic. I don't think it's optional here. Yeah, I forget exactly where the jumps are there, but I could probably do that smoother. Fine, I'll keep it. I guess no save split. I might as well check these for sub-weapons. If I can. I am moving really quickly through here. Yeah, chat's requesting the cube. I won't save split. But we do need a weapon at some point to make this worth taking. This will save a lot of time on Dracula. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, this could save, like, over 50 seconds. So, I shouldn't save split the cube. Is there seriously no sub-weapon here? Don't me. Am I really gonna do Galamoth with no sub-weapon still? I'm not checking those. I could check this one there. Nope, they're just all single hearts. Brutal. Now, where are my sub-weapons at? Out of curiosity... Oh, there we go. Okay, that's better than nothing. We'll take that. Also, I need to be careful. It's not the best, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm just gonna do this just to make my life a little easier. I'm gonna get wrecked. We are definitely saving before we go further. Okay, so this is just free damage on a boss. I just have to position it. Stopwatch is meant to be kind of awkward with the axe. Speaking of which. Yeah, you can see how much damage it can do. Like, it could definitely wreck them. And it makes my life easier getting through this room. If I just want to go through there real quick, I could get out of there. I still think ideally, I'm just going to do Air Fireball. It's just so powerful on death. But he should get really close to the platform. We had some chance to do extra damage with it. I mean, it helped a little bit. Clock is not too bad on Dracula, and it doesn't really make a big difference on Shaft, honestly. Oh my gosh, chat, here it comes. Required Galamoth. Love to see it. Full castle clear. Brutal. I would have been so happy if it gave Merman to us, chat. Speaking of which, I should have been using the axe here to clear out the bats as I went up. It would have made it a bit safer. Oh well, not a big deal. Oh, I bonked. So if you kind of know where they are, you could move it so that you could clear ahead of time. A heart refresh. I think I will actually take that. In case I get a different sub-weapon. You want to see the Bible changes? I don't know if we'll get it. We got cubed so late in the game. I don't know. I think we're more likely to get axe at this point. Oh yeah, this seed sucks. It wasn't even like Merman. Because I was thinking it was going to make me go back for Merman, because most people would skip it, but no. See, by the way, if it's a race, everyone would be invincible. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what my time will be on this. Like, as I said before, I'm going to subtract a minute because I did just straight up get soft lock on the bell. So whatever the time we get at the end, I'm just going to subtract a minute. New cape. Hold on. There we go. I think what has to happen, chat, is I think if I load in from a save room, I have to change the color of the cape. That's what I'm missing out there. But we're gonna see the enhanced Galamoth with suboptimal sub-weapon choice. It's free damage. This is probably one of the easier ones to get free damage on, but I'm gonna have to play very, very cautiously. Yeah, I got soft lock in the bell. I know, of all things. I was like, what is happening? I'm actually gonna pick up those hearts. Those might actually matter. I'm gonna start the battle with a multi-fireball, and then I'm gonna time stop. And we're gonna come in real close. That's a lot of damage. Honestly, I could maybe kill him with this. This is a lot of damage. If he does not this attack, I'm gonna melee him, because that's faster. Like, here it would be ideal to just strike him. But unfortunately, he's not being very cooperative. I really don't want him here, actually. The corner is like the worst spot he could be in. Can we please have him come out of the corner? So Ice Fireball is pretty good if he stops camping the corner. Or he's just gonna camp it forever, it's fine. Oh wait, we got him in the stun loop? Hell yeah, chat. Hell yeah, next level strats, let's go. Got him. Thank you, stopwatch. I love that, that's so good. Did you enjoy that, chat? There's so many ways you could be Galamoth. You just gotta be creative. He got outplayed, chat. I think we can all agree. Straight up outplayed. So I was using Mist, which is the slowest form to kill him. But yeah, he got destroyed for sure. So he is tougher. I mean, you saw that did take a while. He got like, what, 9 or so attacks out? And he didn't die instantly to Kiki. But sub-weapons are so good on him. So I had to nerf the damage. GG. I mean, you're not wrong. Also, let's get our MP back before I go any further. I know, Alucard's confused as well. Hello, Weebit, hope you're doing well. Oh yeah, he got outplayed. You can also do that with the dagger weapon. Oh yeah, my favorite Kiki Feet play. Yeah, there we go. Makes it look, oh, I bonked. It made him look like he was swimming. It's my favorite one. You can get that by going on a ledge. You go to do the flight. So amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna fall here since we don't have max momentum, and then I'm gonna refly. Oh, it actually keeps our momentum there, interestingly. Here's kind of an awkward spot. Stopwatch is not useful on the way down, unfortunately. My brain was thinking about where the warp was. I was like, I probably should take the warp. That is faster, right? Also, I think it's on the left side. Is this faster? I don't know. I've never really thought about it before, chat. What? I should have only one warp, so this should lead me where I need to go. Because I purposely skipped the first one. Not the best momentum, but I'll keep it for now. So yeah, stopwatch is just kind of free damage on Dracula. It's not super useful in the shaft fight. Unless you guess correctly, because he's very mobile. Unless this is like Bible or something. I'll do like a few last sub-weapon checks. Also, you could fly back and forth up here. I'm just looking for the sub-weapons. Kind of like how we were zipping along before. Warp is faster? Okay. And it's definitely faster because I didn't take the other warps. There's just less warps in the list. So you could kind of move during the cutscene. But yeah. You shouldn't be able to soft block at least. Oh yeah, I want to save at this final save. Not for safety reasons, but I want to see time-wise how long it took to get here. Yeah, I want to see the save file later, chat. Unless it saves when you clear. I can't say I've ever really paid attention before. I guess maybe it also does that. Low momentum. I was looking to see if that glitch was there. Dang, we didn't fix it. Didn't fix it. Gotta go back into the lab. So anyway, I'm just gonna make a note that that's a known issue. Yeah, if you do like goofy flying into the elevator, it stops your momentum, but not fast enough. Ooh, yeah, that's a long seed. That's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping it would be more like an hour 5, because given that it was a full clear. So even if I subtract a minute from getting stuck in the bell, it's still a lot of time. I'm gonna play the elevator a little safer here. Yeah, if you do it like not with the flight mechanic, it's fine. Like if you just do like a normal jump, it's fixed, but it looks like flight, it's not fixed. Also, my MP, excuse me. Excuse me, I'm not doing this fight with 0 MP. Right, chat? Like, come on, what was that? Why did it save me with 0 MP there? Come on, game. Think a bit harder about that. I'm like, the Dracula and Shaft fight with no MP is miserable. Don't ever do it, chat. It is so bad. It makes the fight take so long, and it is not worth it. It saves you no time. You have no dodge, and you will probably die. I love using the momentum to get in here. I guess I could put it like there-ish. Maybe that would be okay. Yeah, it's not going to do a ton of damage. Shaft has naturally high defense. So it's like, I'll chip him a little bit. Ideally, I want to let him fall, but he was being uncooperative. If he ends up on the floor, the Hell Fireball is the best method. I love him just slowly descending to the floor. So during this, I'm going to be regaining a little bit of MP. Do we have an okay amount to kill Dracula? Just a little over half. Yeah, you can only have one axe out at a time. So this should do a ton of damage to him. Even if we get hit here, it won't be too bad. But this speeds up the fight significantly. I could have used a little more health fireball, but I was thinking just in case I didn't have enough damage, rather just wait. So maybe I misplayed there. We'll see. I think it's also best to slow fireball over to the side. Why didn't the clock come out? Clock, please. Clock, please. There we go. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Oh, I don't hear any sound. What happened? Apparently we're just so good we broke the sound, chat. 1 second. Okay, I still don't hear the game. It's fine. We'll say GG. I don't know why the sound glitched, but whatever. It is what it is. That wasn't too bad. We had a death to blind spike breaker room without the required relics, so I mean that kind of is expected deaths. We did 1 save split for Merman. I guess I would have been there at like an hour 5 minutes if I didn't do Merman, or more like an hour 6, because I did that whole path. That was at least a minute, and then I didn't reset. I don't know. I feel like I was still probably 2 minutes off of where I needed to be, no matter what. But I think the run was okay. Yeah, no more victory hurrahs, unfortunately. No I Am the Wind. But ideally, either with the Bible or the stopwatch, you will just kind of have it out, and if you need to dodge, you're still at least doing damage. So the damage is scaled slightly more than previously, because originally I think it was doing half your int. -2, and now it's a third of your int -3. So if you do actually level up, you do quite a bit of damage with that. As you saw, I probably got about like 15 to 20 extra melee hits out per clock. So it does add up over time. Now there's a 1 in 8 chance that the axe will be boosted, and I want to eventually give a visual cue in case people are fishing for it so they could try to keep the super axe around. I think that would be kind of a cool strategy. But it is what it is. Is the game sound coming back at all, or I don't think it is. No, it's not. The game sound is dead, chat. Rest in peace, game sound. I guess we could talk over the credits. I don't have to worry about DMCA. So things that we're going to look into, I think, for the final patch release. I need to see what is clearing my weapons out. I'm not really sure what's doing that. It seems like on death, you lose your items. Like, just held item. Not like your armor or like your rings or anything like that, but like your shields disappear, which is really weird. Well, thank you for sticking around, Calvisham. We appreciate it. Guess we'll listen to a little bit of music since it's like dead silent. 1 second, chat. Close enough. So we're probably going to look into the bell, I think, after stream, as that is such a weird scenario. Like, I think you only get stuck up there with momentum. Like, you have to go at it at a very specific angle, and you need speed. As I've jumped into the bell before without momentum, and I definitely do not get stuck, but I clearly got wedged where I shouldn't be. Yeah, what a weird soft law. Things we're probably going to work on for the patch. We want to deal with that one floor tile that you could go through with Bat and Mist. So I think going forward, you'll be able to do that. Whether it's in this exact patch or a hotfix for this patch is TBD. It depends on how long it takes to update. I prefer to look into what kills some of your double jump not momentum. Wrong phrase. What kills the double jump flag when you transition between screens? I don't know when that'll be done, since I thought at least one of the 3 existing flags would cover that, but it clearly didn't. So not really sure what to say about that one. I'm just gonna have to look into it more, I guess. Yeah, I noticed it didn't seem to work, or it didn't work. It doesn't seem to impact your mist flight, so it must be something about vanilla Alucard that works like that. And because of the way I'm setting the jump thing, it doesn't quite work. So I'll have to take a look at that in the Hex editor, I think, a bit more closely. Unfortunately, since Calvisham's here, he's not going to see the Bible. But I suppose we should show off the other sub-weapons. Maybe we'll redo the bosses, but with different sub-weapons. I do think Dagger overall is probably the worst one to use on bosses. I think Stopwatch is awkward, but it is at least covering an area you don't have to really think about it. I will state that I still think Axe is the best sub-weapon overall. I feel like if you get Axe, you're pretty much GG. You can kill basically every boss. So it's actually kind of nice to also do almost every boss without sub-weapons, shy of Galamoth. But obviously, if you have any sub-weapon at all, Galamoth is a lot easier. But hopefully chat enjoyed the tougher Galamoth. He had, I think, about, overall at that point, 55% more health. And we were doing a quarter damage on our Mist, our sub-weapons, and half damage on spells. And he also had a defense increase from Mayhem 0 to 3. So overall, he did take a lot longer to kill. But I feel like you're still given the right tools in order to beat him. So I still think it was fair. I do think Poison Mist / Gas Cloud is useful in that fight. As you can see, I did decent damage per second, and combine that with any of the sub-weapons like Bible or Stopwatch, I think you could still kill him that way. It's just, it's going to take more overall resources. It probably won't be the fastest method necessarily unless you get a bad pattern. Like him spamming the lightning orb attack is the worst. Ideally, I want to see him do either his melee swing, or the best one is probably the Lightning Storm. Because once he Lightning Storms, you have at least 5 or 6 seconds to set up spells. And that's where you could go from doing only like 200 in attack to like 800 plus. So, we'll see. So I think what we'll do, we'll cut to... Galamoth real quick. So I have the dagger currently. My int is kind of high for this level. I think I was talking to this about somebody, I think last time we were here. I should probably only have about at most 60 here. I just rolled super godlike, apparently. So we'll take that for sure. Yeah, you can see dagger doesn't do like a ton of damage. Alright, so this is the attack I'm talking about. If you see this attack, this is like heavenly for me. I get so much free damage on him. Now, ideally, I should be mashing attack a little more. But that's the basic strategy. I'm gonna gain my MP here. Perfect. I want to see that attack every time. You can just really wail on him. So, if you know what to do, and if you fish for that attack, it goes by still pretty quickly. But acknowledge, it's not an instant clear. Maybe we'll buff him a little more. But not, I don't want to go too crazy. I kind of want to do it in stages. If anything, I'm only going to give him maybe like, I don't know, maybe another 250 health. Maybe. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, that was a pretty clean fight. I'm going to reload it, and we're going to do it with a different sub-weapon. Glad chat loves the Rondo soundtrack. So we're going to go ahead and change our weapon manually. So we have sub-weapon count of 1. Let's change this to, I think Bible's 5. An unhandled exception. Oh, because the sound crashed. I actually cannot perform cheats because of the sound crashing. That is so funny. Also, I just realized I cleared my save. It was a big mistake. I should have done a save state. So I would have to look back at that. But it was like an hour 5. I guess I'm glad we soft locked there and see how far it went. So if I had to guess, the whole run was under an hour 10, which is okay. I mean, it was a full clear. I guess that's okay. Yeah, I had a better target time in mind. Anyway, let's go back here. Now that the sound is working, it'll let me do the cheat file. Yeah, for some reason it crashed. Who knows? That's a BizHawk issue. That's not specific to Mayhem. Let's go ahead and do this and move this up. Let's put ourselves with Bible, and this time hopefully it will not fight me. Perfect. He's at how much HP now? Well, we had 4 Vlad relics here, I think. Or is it 5? Yeah. We're at 4. So he has 2,500 plus 250 times 4. So I think he's at 3,500. And again, he takes a quarter damage from all of our sub-weapons and miss. So he effectively has a lot of defense versus our tech. Melee itself is really fast. Also, I need to transition screens. I saved it in a weird spot. There we go. Okay, so I think you could still cheese him with Bible, because I think I could do something like this. Bible still destroys him. Yeah, every Vlad adds health to Galamoth. If you get there early. I mean, we should be able to win with just this. Honestly, we're doing a ton of damage. Yeah, the Vlad relics improve your damage overall anyway. Yeah, that was pretty fast. So who knows, maybe we'll give him more health. Bible's still really good on Galamoth, even with the quarter damage. Bible, can you do that to his head? Probably. Resetting our state here. It doesn't make a difference though, Mateus. I set all of his defense to the same amount. There's no benefit to attacking his head in this version. Put it that way. I mean, like, you could, but I'll recommend it. Let's try it with Axe, see how that feels. So we got the attack we're looking for. You could really, if you know how to hold the controller, you could really DPS fast. Yeah, you could DPS like a madman there. But see how fast that goes with the right sub-weapon? Granted, I have 76 in, which is not a realistic total to have. So I'm probably doing literally like 15 or more a hit than I should be. But we'll see. Yeah. So it's like, I actually do it, I guess I didn't really talk about this in the main playthrough, but I do a different grip whenever he's in that stance specifically. Like, I hold the controller with my left hand as normal, but my right hand, my thumb wraps under the controller, my index finger is on what would be square, where it's X on an Xbox, triangle has my middle finger, and B/circle is circle. And I hold down 2 of the buttons, and I just mash on square. You can really pump the damage. So there are definitely ways to speed up the fight, but I will acknowledge that most people will not think of doing that, and they'll just try to fight him legit. But like, I highly recommend a claw grip. I do that on Dracula fight as well. Like, if you're wondering how I'm like getting all that stuff, yeah, like I actually do switch my hand holding position just for that. I think it's called the claw grip, if I'm not mistaken. I did it for Tekken, I'll put it that way. So I'm taking that fighting game tech on how to get those buttons down. Again, I'm just holding triangle and circle and just hitting square. And because my left hand is still where it is normally, I can still dodge. And I can react with ducking with my index finger on my left hand as well. So just figured I'd point that out. It can go very quickly. So who knows, maybe I'll bump him up a little bit more. But I feel like the quarter damage, I do have to use a lot of my resources, but... Oh, what level am I? Am I like level 50? I see I got a message stuck by me messing around, which is interesting. Guess I'll turn this off for now, just so I can see it. There we go. It got unstuck. I just want to see what my level is, because normally you would only be like level 30, 40. I think because I save stated so much, it's trying to catch up on all the messages. Poor backlog, chat. Because I was flipping back and forth between them. I had one where I had every relic and one where I didn't have every relic. I think it confused the game a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hard reset. Oh, that doesn't get rid of it. Interesting. Just get rid of it? No, it won't. Okay. I'm gonna reboot. I'm just curious what level I was most. And then, chat, I do have to go pretty soon. So we're coming up on our time limit where I have a hard cutoff for myself because I have family plans later. Yeah, it can go by really quickly. I think it's just like, you actually do have to identify what attack Galamoth is doing. Like, you can't do what I was doing there unless he's doing the lightning attack. So you just need to be to the far left of the screen. If chat is not aware how to manipulate Galamoth, if you're at the far left, he will almost always do the lightning attack. And when he does that, that's my signal to go in. If you stay near his feet, he's just going to kick a lot and or do the orb attack, which is really annoying. And I got kind of unlucky because I forced him backwards, so I couldn't really show that off in the main run. Like, I think I went preemptively behind him too quickly. But I could have manipulated him better, for sure. I want to load that save up. Really, I'm only... Yeah, like, my stats are insane. Like, just think about it this way, chat. Like, you would normally only come in here with, like... let's say an average of between 8 to 10 on starting stat, depending on how you did Richter. You get 10 from Axe Armor. In 33 levels, I still gained over 50 in. So more often than not, I got +2 on in, which is insane. Do not expect that to happen normally. So while he does look really quick and easy, keep in mind I had not perfect stat progression, but I had insane stat progression on that in. Like, I got more than 1 point per level on average, which is completely silly. So, of course, all my other attacks are going to do a ton of damage. Yeah, it was really good. I was going to say, it is really, really good. Like, okay. So, yeah, that Fireball spell should be doing probably, as I said before, 15 less. The multi-Fireball would only do about 4 less, but it would be 4 less per Fireball, so overall it would lose more than the Hell Fireball. Is there any other sub-weapon we would really want to try on him? I mean, I guess I could see if it's still possible to kill him with just Mist. I imagine the answer is yes, because my int is insane, but, like, out of curiosity. Okay, we're gonna try just Mist. So I'm using the Mist boost here to get extra damage. I mentioned it before. I'm getting like 6s and 7s instead of like 3s and 7s, or 3s and 6s. So this is as optimal as you could get without a sub-weapon. But keep in mind, I would be doing about 2 less damage a tick, if not more. Because I think when we did the Mist, we were only doing 3 to 4, if I remember correctly, instead of 6 to 7. Which is a big difference. So right around this point, I would have run out of MP as the other character. Like if we're looking at like the damage to MP ratio. But as you can see, this is very slow. I'm not even sure if it'll kill him in time, even with this end. Oh, it did, barely. Wow, that took a lot of MP. I have 82 in. Wow, just wow. Interesting. So it's possible if you have really, really crazy in that you could do that. Who knows? Maybe I'll give him a pity 250 chat. So then it would have taken probably like 3 more Mist boosts at insanely good int to kill. But again, I do think Poison Cloud should have a purpose. But clearly it is very slow compared to the other methods. Like, we saw Axe was like, what, a third of the time? So if you get Subweapon saves so much time over every other method for sure. So I think for now, I might leave him as is in terms of defense, other than maybe raise his health a little bit more. I don't want it to go like out of control, as I said before. But I could raise it between another 250 to 500. I don't think that would be unreasonable. He still has more health than most of the bosses in this area outside of Death and Dracula moment. But I could just make him more of a challenge overall. I could also do things like improve his scaling off of Vlad. Like, it was 125 for Vlad before. It went up to 250. I could put it up to 375, technically. Yeah, that reminds me. I have to look at the orb. Why was the orb so unkillable? Like, that was actually insane. That also cost me a lot of time, actually. I think it's safe to say I lost over 30 seconds there. Because I was like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, and it still didn't die, and I'm like, what's going on? I hit it with Fireball. Why is it still around? So maybe my time was a little closer to expectations, if not for that. It's still probably off by a minute, but I feel a little better about my time. Yeah, that was actually silliness. So I'll take a look into that. Yeah, that orb was unkillable. That legit had like 36 or more hits to kill. I'm pretty sure. I want to go back and count. Like, the Fireball hit twice, I think twice. And I hit it with one fireball, I think, twice as well. But that was so many melee hits. That's like way more than it should have been, for sure. I don't know if it just like fired twice or something weird, which is possible. Oh, that's also super satisfying, by the way. Bow them down. Oh, the other thing I need to do is on reload of game, clear axe armor color. I think it's the only thing I need to do. That one is really simple. I could push it with the build. So I think when you die and respawn, your cloak hasn't technically updated, but because I clear the cloak color when you go to the main menu, it's not going to put the cloak color back in. Do some changes here. It's confusing because Joseph's cloak is technically the forest cloak. Because this seems to have remembered... Interestingly, it seems to have remembered the other seed items, because this is clearly like a casual when we were playing. Whereas like we very clearly loaded a OG seed, which doesn't have randomized equipment. So it's interesting that it remembered this. Yeah, so like every time I do the Joseph's cloak, we get a different color. Granted, it can repeat them, but it's kind of nice to swap between them. I think for now, chat, this is a good stopping point. Yeah, orb unkillable. Thank you, my side notes. We don't need to see you right now. So we'll go to end of stream. So I think for the YouTube audience, we're going to kill it here. We're probably going to leave it as a highlight. Unfortunately, we did have a little bit of an issue of getting stuck in the bell. I'm not sure I'm going to edit it out, because otherwise I feel like that would be confusing without context. But I think at least it's good to know that could happen, if nothing else, if you happen to be running the game. So I'll probably make a highlight of this video, and then I'll probably link it on my Discord for people that are looking for faster boss kills. And that'll include us messing around with Galamoth, because I think Galamoth really showcases how strong the subweapons are, and why I had to nerf them specifically for Galamoth. And again, like, it did make the fight longer, but it's still possibly too short. So I'll think about it. I could reduce spell damage slightly. Instead of a half, I could make it a third. But honestly, it wasn't the spells doing the most damage. It was still the sub-weapons. So even with the one quarter damage, it's still not quite enough to nerf. But we'll see. We'll see. I think for now, though, we're going to say goodbye to YouTube. So thank you, YouTube, for watching, and hope to see you again next time.